Good evening. Welcome to Resource PNG. Undoubtedly, resource projects are a key driver of Papua New Guinea's economy. Mining and petroleum projects provide employment as well as providing revenue through taxes and royalties. But resource projects are more than just providing these benefits. In this edition of Resource PNG, we look at how the resource sector contributes to business development.
Papua New Guinea's extractive industries continue to be a driver of the national economy. Mining and petroleum projects bring employment, government revenues, and opportunities for the economic growth and diversification. The resource sectors are the second most important segments of the PNG economy after agriculture. The contribution of mining and petroleum companies has grown substantially in recent years, but it still plays a secondary role to agriculture, which employs about 80% of the population. Agriculture contributes to household incomes through the large number of families dependent on cash incomes from coffee, cocoa, copra, and other smallholder crops, and from oil palm, PNG's biggest agricultural export commodity. Mining and oil companies, though, have considerable spin-off benefits and multiplier effects. Besides the direct employment, especially in remote locations, and the many contractors they employ, resource companies end up paying huge amounts of royalties to tens of thousands of landowners in various localities. All such royalties are spread through a community of about 70,000 people in Hela, Southern Highlands, and Gulf Province. A household survey of its footprint area conducted in 2011 showed that average household income in the entire area amounted to $565 a month. This certainly made the area stand out as a region of significant prosperity. In recent years, jobs in the resource sectors has risen to more than 35,000 direct industry workers, an additional 80,000 people work as alluvial gold miners. PNG's mining and oil companies are major contributors to all aspects of the PNG economy and national development, with spin-off opportunities creating 3 to 4 jobs for every person directly employed in the resource sectors. PNG's mine and petroleum deposits are in remote locations, where they are very important for local and regional employment. They drive a lot of commercial activity in urban centres, such as Port Moresby, Lae, and Mount Hagen. Lae is extremely important from a logistical viewpoint. Millions of tons of imported goods and materials are transported by the Highlands Highway to the oil search bases at Kutubu and Hides, as well as to Barrick Gold's Porgera mine. Mount Hagen acts as an important transport and logistics hub. Most of these goods are transported by trucking fleets owned by landowner companies such as IPI Group and Trans Wonderland. Kiunga has been a hub for the barging of copper concentrates to world markets. It is now seeing its role expand greatly. Kiunga is becoming a hive of activity with plans for the piping of condensated shipments from the Stanley fields for processing at Interoil's Napa Napa oil refinery in Port Moresby. Considerations is also being given for possible development of a third LNG plant in the area based on stranded gas fields in Western Province. Exports of crude oil, copper, gold, and silver have traditionally been responsible for about 80% of PNG's total exports, providing revenue to support the nation's large bill for imported goods and services. Resource companies are the biggest contributor to tax collected by the national government. Their combined tax payments averaged about 2.4 billion kina annually in the 6 years since 2005. Over the 6-year period, official statistics show the government collected 13.4 billion kina in corporate tax, dividends, royalties, and dividend withholding tax.
The mine profile has changed significantly over the 20 years of operation. This originally started as a high-grade, low tonnage mine, so therefore the number of personnel required was less, and over time, as the grade has reduced and the amount of material we need to move and process has increased, our demand on people has increased, and we've increased our manning.
Generally, 1/3 of total government tax revenues comes from mining and oil companies, providing government with sustainable base for funding of education, health, and other public services.
You're watching Resource PNG. We will be back for more after these messages. Welcome back. We continue our focus on resource projects and their role in promoting business development. In this segment, we take a closer look at the microeconomic contributions that the resource sector makes to the economy. More particularly, how different projects empower the local communities through not only royalties, but also opportunities through spin-off business.
While these are important contributions on a macroeconomic level, mining and oil companies also have a significant impact at the micro or local level through payment of wages and salaries, purchase of goods and services, the awarding of contracts to landowner companies and local businesses, and provision of infrastructure and services. Royalty payments go directly to landowners and to provincial governments. And in the case of Oktedi, compensation payments are made to 168 Fly River villages impacted by tailings from the mine. Of the total royalties of 63.8 million kina paid by Oktedi last year, the provincial government received 32.7 million kina, while landowners received 31.1 million. This contrasted with a record 91.3 million kina paid to both groups in 2010. Landowners received an additional 6 million kina last year for land lease, and landowner projects with an additional 64.4 million kina paid out to 168 impact villages along the Fly River. Barrick Gold paid out 27.5 million kina in royalties last year, down from a record 35 million kina in 2010, and just over 9 million kina in compensation and other payments. At major operations such as the gold mines at Porgera in Enga Province and at Lihir in New Island, and the big copper gold mine at Oktedi, around 85% of all workers are Papua New Guineans. About 1/3 of PNG workers come from communities in surrounding regions, where formal sector jobs are scarce, and 2/3 coming from other parts of Papua New Guinea. Spin-off businesses created by Oktedi, Porgera, Lihir and Oil Search include deals with national and regional aviation companies for charter flights for workers and goods. Helicopters, road freighters and ships belonging to other PNG companies are used to transport goods needed at the mines. Many millions of kina are also paid for a variety of goods and services outsourced to hundreds of local companies and contractors. Payment of wages, royalties and taxes, and a purchase of locally provided goods and services are generally an important dimension of local development that is made possible by the resource companies. In Oktedi's case, operating costs in 2011 amounted to 1.6 billion kina. Almost 1.3 billion kina was paid out locally, made up of 566 million kina for locally purchased goods, 508 million kina paid to PNG contractors, 203 million kina in staff salaries and wages, and 8.6 million kina for local training costs. Over the years, the wages and salaries bill for the Porgera mine has been rising considerably, even though production has fallen, contributing to higher operating costs.
Professional and vocational skills training are an important part of resource projects. Coming up, we look at how different projects promote these skills. Join us after these messages. In PNG, resource projects play a big part in professional and vocational skills training. Different projects have their unique way of providing opportunities for employees as well as people from local communities to further their knowledge base so that they can realize their full potential in their selected fields. In this segment, we will look at how different projects have gone about in providing these vital support for training skills.
Besides being a major employer of skilled and unskilled labor, the mining companies also support vocational, technical and professional training programs. Technical and vocational institutes provide Papua New Guinea with a high-level training of internationally acceptable standards. After qualifying from company-built facilities at Oktedi and Lihir, Papua New Guineans are well capable of working in various industries within the countries, or even working abroad, as many are doing these days. Mining companies also spend millions of kina to provide scholarships for Papua New Guineans to undertake a variety of technical and professional courses and degrees at local and foreign universities.
And I am very grateful to OTML for allowing me to undertake studies, postgraduate studies in I studied for my Master of Engineering in Civil Engineering at the Swinburne University of Technology in Melbourne. So I initially applied for a AUSAID scholarship, was awarded one, and then asked for OTML to subsidize part of that, which I am grateful they did, with the management here in bigger operations fully supporting that. And so I was grateful I undertook that and came back, and that has helped me with that extra qualification. I feel that I can impart more to my engineers and also contribute effectively to the operations here.
Last year, Barrick's Porgera mine spent 710,000 kina on training and education programs, including 42 UPNG and Unitech scholarships. Since the startup of the Porgera mine, this expenditure by the company has amounted to 16.8 million kina.
We have a graduate training program. It's called our Compass program. We've really pushed that in the last 12 months at Porgera, and we have a large number of our junior professionals and graduates have gone on to that program. They work through that program at their own pace, but it should be around a 2 to 3 year program at the first stage. Once they've completed the first stage of the program, they'd move into the second stage, which is a further 3 year program. The idea is to take our graduates fresh from university and give them the practical skills they require to become true professionals in the operation. It's a very good program. It's a global program. We run the same program across all of our operations globally, and it'll bear a lot of fruit for Porgera and for PNG in general, with good graduates coming out well-rounded, understanding the business and understanding their requirements and the needs they have to operate at a high level.
In the case of Oktedi, the company last year spent 8 million kina on such programs, taking its total training and scholarship sponsorships to 85 million kina since the mine's startup. The Chamber of Mines and Petroleum, in conjunction with AUSAID, recently provided specialist textbooks for the University of Technology's School of Mining Engineering, ensuring the students have access to the latest and best international academic materials for relevant courses. The Chamber recently commissioned Professor Hugh Davis of the UPNG School of Earth Science to complete a recently launched geology textbook for university students. Professor Davis was able to draw on his many years as head of geology department to provide detailed and up-to-date information of particular relevance to PNG in his book. Over the years, resource companies have built some of the safest and best planned townships at Tabubil, Kiunga, and at Lihir. The situation at the Paim township of Porgera is a bit more complex because of the large and steady flow of people from nearby or more distant provinces, and the law and order problems caused by illegal mining activities. Since mine startup, the population around Paim has grown tenfold to around 50,000 people. These mining townships provide a significant contrast to urban environments elsewhere in Papua New Guinea. Some 30,000 people live in Tabubil, where the Oktedi mine has been providing free electricity and water. The company-run Tabubil Hospital, which is open to the public, is categorized by the National Department of Health as a 5-star facility. About 25% of its patients walk for days from nearby provinces of West Sepik, Southern Highlands and Hela to access its services. Maternal and child mortality rates have seen dramatic reductions over the years, with no maternal mortality reported at the hospital in the past 5 years, in sharp contrast to the situation elsewhere in PNG.
You're watching Resource PNG. We will be back for more after these messages. Welcome back. We continue our focus on resource projects and their role in promoting business development.
At Kiunga, where copper concentrates are barged down the Fly River for export, the Oktedi mine provides free power and water supplies and other local services. To ensure long-term sustainability, Divine Word University has taken over management of Tabubil Hospital. Because of their remote locations and general problems of access, all the major resource companies maintain large warehouses stocked with nuts and bolts and other consumables, as well as highly sophisticated machinery parts.
We store a lot of equipment from from heavy equipment to down to consumables. All the spare parts for the mine, the processing plant, the equipment, and general consumables, including dangerous goods.
The Pogera mine is 130 kilometers west of Mount Hagen and 600 kilometers northwest of Port Moresby. Most of its material needs get trucked some 680 kilometers by road from Leh, using a subsidiary owned by the landowner company IPI Limited.
Basically, we get things in from all over the world. Anything we order from Australia, we got a consolidating company in Australia, and that consolidates all the material down in Australia, and some other stuff that we bring in from all over the world comes straight to Leh. And then we also order things locally down in Leh, Mount Hagen, and sometimes timbers and some other local products from around Pogra valleys.
Understandably, the logistical chains of these operations are complex, involving supplies to the mines, materials for the mining and treatment of mineral ores, and their shipment to major PNG ports for on-shipment to buyers overseas. In the case of Oktedi mine, a slurry pipeline carries the copper-gold concentrate from Tabubil to Kiunga. From there, it is barged to Port Moresby for shipment overseas. The Ramu nickel mine also operates a slurry pipeline to carry the nickel cobalt ore to the processing plant at Basamuk, from where it is shipped to overseas smelters. Resource companies such as Oktedi, Barrick Gold, Oil Search, Lihir, Ramu Nickel, and ExxonMobil also implement tax credit projects on behalf of the government. In many cases, they employ local entrepreneurs and landowner companies for these tasks. These spin-off opportunities create pockets of prosperity in remote parts of the country where government services can be poorly lacking.
Due to PNG's rugged terrain, getting to a project site is often difficult. Understandably, this presents a challenge. However, companies have worked around this through innovative solutions. These solutions also contribute to providing business opportunities for local entrepreneurs. Welcome back to Resource PNG. Industry players recognize the finite nature of resources and are committed to creating sustainable development alternatives. One way this is achieved is through supporting landowner companies to enable them to be self-sufficient and ultimately expand their operations. Now we take a look at how resource projects have contributed to the success of landowner companies and local entrepreneurs.
Industry players recognize the finite nature of resources and are committed to creating sustainable development alternatives. One way this is achieved is through the operations of landowner companies. At the Okteri Copper Gold Mine, landowners have diversified returns from the mine through their landowner company Mineral Resources Star Mountains, or MRSM. MRSM invests the 2.5% royalty it receives from annual OTML annual dividends into various portfolios. Since its establishment in 1997, MRSM has made a number of investments into businesses, mainly in Tabubil as well as in Port Moresby. MRSM is the longest subcontractor to Okteri and employs around 700 people. Tabubil Engineering, Fupilong Catering Services, and a couple of hotels are some of the businesses within its investment portfolio. As Tabubil commences its transition from mining to mixed-use town, MRSM CEO Paul Poivy is excited by the scope of the opportunities opening up.
I came in earlier on in the piece, about 2003. My role was to put FCS initially in a position to be self-managed. This was achieved, and whilst in the throes of doing that, we saw other opportunities which I discussed with the board of MRSM and MRDC, where MRSM could participate.
Okteri Development Foundation, or OTDF, is the development arm of OTML that manages community development benefits on behalf of mine-associated communities in the Western Province. The foundation has recently focused on areas including sustainable livelihoods, deer farming, and rubber and eaglewood plantations, and of course logistics. The foundation aims to transform the lives of 110,000 river residents living in 156 mine-associated communities in the Western Province. It is already impacting the youth, providing an income for those who are unable to complete school. Sadawa Pikina could not complete grade 4 due to financial constraints. He is now working with other village youths to build an enclosure to raise deer and grow eaglewood as part of an OTDF-sponsored project in his community.
Yes, mi plat tua tu lo walking isla project kati mol post lo bus because lo tingin future lo mi pla lo walking isla project lo stretim sin down lo mi pla lo behind time.
A majority of the population in the Western Province reside along the Fly River, making this channel the main mode of transport. Seeing the need for water transport, OTDF introduced Fly Hope, a shipping vessel that can carry up to 150 people plus cargo, making travel more convenient. This service has provided much needed stimulus to the local economy, increasing businesses along the river. An entrepreneur named Christina Sangi saw an opportunity to do business in the Western Province and moved here. Christina is from East Sepik.
Lo obo oliet planti blangali no salo market. So work misa make misa caramel fish baramandi come from obo ganta plo kiunga na sale molo. Kiunga, Tabubil, Gimolo hotels, or guest house.
And like Christina, her business partner Rodney Lilai, a man from Gulf Province, also saw similar opportunities.
Town city and plenty sawe man. Lon here place also Any also project government by giving you work or local level government by giving you me can talk also no got plenty carpenter here so you by get chance lo you look see work.
In PNG, only 3% of the land mass belongs to the state, while the majority is customary owned land. Unlike most landowners who are usually reluctant to give up their land, there are some who think different, like a landowner from Bonai village in Moyan in the Middle Fly. He and his supportive wife are on the same page.
Osem na mipla to gatin this land must place where mipla can grow in Wiggle so mipla give him ground Wiggle of PNG STV one time OTTF lo all can come na time long planning Wiggle lo here so mipla can look and grow good but as we look him Osem Wiggle come up good through lo here yeah.
Rather than start something completely new, OTDF is working with what pre-exists, is suitable with the environment and what people are already good at. One such concept is rubber. Rubber plantations were introduced in the Western Province as a cash crop in the 1960s, making them almost as old as the mine. About 3,000 local farmers supply rubber to the rubber processing factory in Kiunga, which is supported by Oktedi Mining Limited.
Thinking domi emosem why we establish in this all project lo at kampa community emosem mipla like kissing come group like one a living standard lo so that all can plan all this lo be in future time lo now all by kissing money out of this rubber.
I think the clear message for us is that we're actually based with the communities. This is one of the trust investment projects. We actually have two coming in. This is a brand new Series 400 Twin Otter. They've only been just made again for the first time in more than 20 years. So it's great for us. This is the first one that's going to be operable in the Southern Hemisphere. So it's great to be able to bring one in on behalf of the CMTA communities. It'll be chartered permanently to Oktedi Mining and guarantee them an 8% return on both the assets.
You're watching Resource PNG. We will be back for more after these messages. You're watching Resource PNG. It is important to have a commitment to creating sustainable development alternatives. This is especially true for the resource projects. Through supporting local industries, resource projects can play a role in ensuring that local communities can sustain themselves long after these projects reach the end of their lives. In this segment, we look at some examples of how landowners have already taken steps to be self-sufficient.
While economic diversification has been the practice for OTML, the story for Barrick Gold has been no different. Barrick Gold has encouraged people in Porgera to cultivate the land for agriculture. In response, 36 farmers have formed the Porgera Vegetable Farmers Cooperative Society and have been supplying produce to the mine since May 2012. The soil in the area is mostly clay, making it unfit for farming. Daily challenges are being overcome by the Vegetable Farmers Cooperative Society, started in 2012. 12 months later, after 30 projects, they have added 4 tons of vegetables to the local market.
This group and long finding market lol me like him all man Mary lo place all by supplying this vegetables lol now all by kissing money and block creating market lol.
Barrick started the cooperative society off with fertilizer and seeds to enable the group to form a sustainable business. This group of farmers earned Porgera a Global Barrick Excellence Award in 2012 for community and social responsibility. The local farmers from the Porgera SML and Paya'ala communities under the Porgera Vegetable Farmers Cooperative Society, with guidance from Barrick, are now able to earn an income and improve their local economy, as well as their dietary needs too.
We are at the training center for the SML community. It's a new one, newly established, recently established in partnership with the Porgera Development Authority. They actually funded the groundwork here, and there's still a couple of things to be done. That's where Barrick will step in and assist, especially on technical stuff like trainings and all the stuff. This is, was given to a cooperative society which we assisted to establish, and it's called the Porgera Vegetable Farmers Cooperative Society. They have 36 farmers from within the SML and surrounding communities. Basically, the idea is to have them working in a group to address food security for the people here, and as well probably sell some of the stuff extra to generate a bit of income.
Expanding the scope of local businesses and assisting the mine, landowners have also established a cleaning and housekeeping company.
Pogra usually for investment umbrella company, and we got more than 2,000 shareholders. We got 10 plant directors established in it. Now 9 plant all leaders now all schoolman long Pogra yet. 1 plant that's all expert. We will training more man local man palace. Example like catering, we will training more man. All kisim license 1, license 2, license 3. License 2 na 3 international standard license was I kisim. Trainer we will kisim every quarter long overseas. Was I giving training local man liya, work man liya.
Me plus look at them all camps, working laundry, laundry services, mindset offices, all general cleaning, all suppliers like KK Kingston. Me plus talking more on giving training all supervisors and leading ends. About 1 week or so, we'll also give him issue a certificate. All one supervisors and leading end all train and all come training. I'm me plus I sell him all go on school or some be him or one training center or must be.
The Ramu nickel mine in the Medang province has diversified PNG's mining industry with the addition of nickel and cobalt. Under the operatorship of the China Metallurgical Group Corporation has brought many business development opportunities for local landowners.
The company has opened up markets for the local people to sell their produce to the company, both fishing, vegetables, and any other produce that they have to sell it to the company, both in Basamuk and in KBK.
During the construction and production phase of the project, many local business opportunities were created. Where local contractors did not exist, MCC helped establish local landowner companies to provide much-needed services for the mine, such as catering and security. The umbrella landowner company established to represent the 4 landowner-impacted areas and their respective associations is called Ribus Limited. The company provides jobs for 300 locals through its various subsidiaries: Kurumbukari Landowner Association, Inland Pipeline Landowner Association, Coastal Pipeline Landowner Association, and Basamuk Landowners Association.
The company is called Ribus Limited. Ribus is an acronym for the 4 area umbrella company, 4 areas that Ramu Nickel operates in. So those 4 areas are the mine site, which is Kumbakari, the inland pipeline site, which is Maigari, coastal pipeline, which is Wasmatau, and the refinery site, which is Basamuk, and we have a company there called Basamuk Enterprises. So each of those 4 areas has their own area umbrella company, and each of those umbrella companies has representatives on the board of Ribus. And those 4 umbrella companies with their representatives form the board of Ribus, which is and that's how our company is set up.
MCC has helped local landowners set up companies and is supporting them with business opportunities generated by the project. Catering is the main service provision for Ribus Limited. The company operates a joint venture with NCS Holdings. Mess facilities are located at both the Kurumbukari mine site and the Basamuk processing plant.
Ribus represents the interest of all the landowners throughout the mine project, and we have been given the right to provide catering services for the entire mine project, security services also for the entire mine project. We also have a small engineering company called Ribus Engineering, and we have a property company called Ribus Properties. Our major operation is the catering service provision.
NCS Ribus Challenger is the vessel that we use. It's owned by NCS Holdings, and we use it to transfer food stuff, vegetables, plus all our dry goods and freezers from Medang up to Basamuk refinery mess. Our messes, we've got three messes up at Basamuk that we do caters for them.
We have a joint venture with a company called NCS Holdings. That joint venture was commenced nearly 6 years ago. For us, that joint venture has been a very successful enterprise. NCS provided all the finance necessary to set the joint venture up, and they provide management. And they funded our 50% of the shareholding of the joint venture, which means the shareholding is shared 50-50. And since the operations began, I think within the first 2.5 to 3 years, we paid all our debts to NCS, and we have received 50% of the operating profits from that joint venture since then. So that joint venture has set Ribus on the road to being a successful umbrella company, landowner company.
Because there are both a large portion of both local and Chinese employees, catering staff are equipped with skills to cater for both local and Chinese cuisine.
As per our contract with MCC, we have to train and bring the local people up to a standard where they can assist and participate in a big way with the Chinese chefs. So essentially, even though the client is Chinese, we train the local people up to cater to their standards, and it's really rewarding for them and for me to see how these people have raised their education levels, you know.
During the last 6 years of Ribus's operation, the company made significant investments to secure its financial footing, particularly with investments in properties as well as its core businesses.
In that 6-year period, we've made some investments. We, mainly from the income from the NCS Ribus joint venture, we own property in Medang of around about 4 million kina. It has been a deliberate policy of the board of the company to invest as much as we can into properties to secure the future of the company. We have to remember that this company will be in existence for the next 30, maybe 40 years, depending on the lifetime of the mine. So it's very important for us in these early stages to set the company up.
Ribus provides other services such as security for the Ramu Nickel project. Their security company, Ribus Security, is a fine example of the international company providing services to Honiara in the Solomon Islands.
And it has grown over the years. Up until now, we've branched out. And also we have a client in Medang Town. Example, we have clients with National Airport Corporation, DDCell, Hardware House. Very shortly, it will be the National Development Bank, and of course, our major client is MCC itself.
Eventually, the aim of local business development support is to help establish self-sustaining businesses in the project area and Madang province that can operate well after the mine life of Ramu Nickel project.
So it's very important for us in these early stages to set the company up so it's financially secure and to build for the future, so that in the future it'll be able to look after the interests of the landowners in general and our shareholders.
Under a long-term sustainability plan, Ramu Nickel project is committed to assisting with spin-off businesses for impacted communities within the project's vicinity. Pursuing sustainable development for the project-impacted landowners is a commitment of Ramu Nickel.
There are a lot of benefits, both direct and indirect benefits. The direct benefits would be the employment of the local people, not only with their landowner companies, but also with the company as well. And these are the benefits that they have as per the main project agreement that we have, I mean the MOA that we have with the stakeholders, that the first preference goes to the local people. So the company gives the first preference to the local people in terms of employment, whether in general labor, in skills, unskilled jobs, or any other opportunity that we have, especially in terms of employment.
With catering being a major component of Ribus Limited, all landowner communities are also encouraged to participate in commercial agriculture initiatives.
The company has opened up markets for the local people to sell their produce to the company, both fishing, vegetables, and any other produce that they have to sell it to the company, both in Basamuk and Hapin KVK.
The Agriculture Assistance Program has progressed well. There have been a number of model farms that have been set up in the Basamuk plant site area with the help of Chinese agricultural experts as training sites to teach agricultural skills to local landowners to engage in subsistence farming. The Community Affairs section of the Department of Agriculture assists farmers in the inland and coastal pipeline areas with planting cocoa for the local area. It also provides training in rice cultivation and vegetable farming.
Agriculture promotion is part of social and economic development plan. Socio-economic development plan. Agriculture is the fundamental to this plan area. We are promoting and facilitating long agriculture like rice, and cocoa, and vegetable.
We also have agriculture program that we thought would be a sustainable program that we can really emphasize along the coastal pipeline, because they have limited businesses along that area.
We have built more than 5 model farms of cocoa nursery plant.
Last month,
and the coastal pipeline, we have rice farms. We just want people to get more cash income, and want people, especially women and the youth who has no work, who has no job, to make one better living.
The overall purpose of agricultural programs is to maintain food security in the project-impacted and affected areas, wealth creation and increased economic activity at the village level, empowerment of people through job creation, and to enable project-impacted communities to improve their livelihood. Converting natural resource wealth into long-term sustainable economic development is the basic concept behind mining projects in Oktedi, Pogera, and Ramu. This is to make the local economies independent of resource projects so that they are not socially or economically affected when the respective mining projects reach cessation. For the biggest oil-producing giant in PNG, Oil Search, this is no different. AllSearch has multiple sustainable development priorities that include improved food security, economic development, conservation and health. Similar to Pogera, one way AllSearch achieves this is by supporting the establishment of business cooperatives that commercialize the agricultural activities. These business cooperatives offer sustainable agricultural enterprising opportunities which are mainly run by women. AllSearch also provides these cooperatives with startup material and skills training to help carry out various farming and husbandry activities. But the support for AllSearch does not stop there. The company also helps these groups transport produce to markets and assist with brokering supply contracts with camps run by AllSearch and other partners. This gives growers a reliable income source and the ability to invest in their enterprises. AllSearch employs the services of Gigura Development Company, a landowner company to help build the nurses their new homes. The boom and bust nature of resource projects means that there are a limited window period during the life of the mining or hydrocarbons operation that the government, developer, and local communities can translate into mineral resource wealth, into self-sustaining business opportunities. It is this reality that drives resource developers to work with various stakeholders to ensure the legacy of resource extraction is felt beyond the life of the project. Landowner companies are one group that has grown in diversity over the years, with hundreds of millions of kina of contracts awarded to them by ExxonMobil, AllSearch, Octedi, Pogera, Lihir, Ramun Nickel, and Hidden Valley. Local communities also benefit from direct and indirect employment opportunities, scholarships and training programs, and improved education and health facilities that receive technical and financial assistance from resource companies.
And that's all we have time for on this edition of Resource PNG. If you want to know more about the program, please email us. Our address, resourcepng@mtv.com.pg. You can also view this edition online by going to www.mtv.com.pg, where you will find a link to the Resource PNG page. Until the next time, I'm Larry Tulo. Have a pleasant evening.